Hello viewers, welcome to the channel. This is Swapnil Tarik. On the 21st of July, OnePlus unveiled their first ever mid-range smartphone. Um, I mean, I'm not sure the OnePlus X can be considered as a mid-range phone or not, as it had a flagship chipset, but this is the first ever OnePlus phone with a mid-range chipset, and it is the OnePlus Nord. Before talking about it, let's just roll the intro. Okay, let's talk about the specs first. The phone is going to be powered by the latest mid-range Snapdragon 765G chipset, which has an integrated 5G modem. OnePlus Nord will have a 6.44 inches AMOLED display with FHD Plus resolution, and it also has 90Hz refresh rate. There will be two storage options of this phone. The first one is 128GB internal storage with 8GB of RAM, and the second one is 256GB internal storage with 12GB of RAM. There is also another storage option which is only available in India, and it's going to have 64GB internal storage with 6GB of RAM. The phone will have a 4115 mAh battery which can be fast charged at 30 watts. Let's talk about the camera now. The main camera is a 48MP sensor. There will be an 8MP wide angle, a 5MP depth, and a 2MP macro camera. On the front, the main camera is a 32MP sensor, and beside that is an 8MP wide-angle camera. OnePlus Nord's rear camera can record 4K videos at 30 frames per second, and the front can record 4K videos at 60 frames per second. Which I found kind of weird. It's like this is probably the first time I've seen a phone that has a better video capability on the front camera instead of the rear camera. Is it just me who's thinking this is really weird? I don't know, maybe it's just me. I hope OnePlus will add a 4K video at 60 frames per second option for the rear camera through a software update. And yeah, this was the specs. Let's talk about the price now. Well, this is probably the first time I have to say the price in euros and rupees because OnePlus Nord won't be sold in the US market officially. OnePlus basically made this phone by focusing on the European, Indian, and few other countries' consumers only. And I think it could have been great if they made it for the US market as well. But they didn't, unfortunately. In Europe, the 128GB storage with 8GB of RAM is going to cost €399, and the maxed out storage option, which is 256GB storage with 12GB of RAM, is going to cost €499. There's going to be an extra smaller storage option in India, which is 64GB storage with 6GB of RAM, and it's going to cost 25,000 rupees. And the other two options will cost 28,000 and 30,000 rupees in India. Okay, so the question is, should you buy it or not? Well, it's totally up to you. I mean, it is indeed the best mid-range phone on the market. But if you're a person who does a lot of multitasking and do stuff like gaming and video editing, then maybe you should think before buying the OnePlus Nord because there are other phones that are more powerful in this price range. For example, the Realme X3 and X3 Super Zoom is more powerful than the OnePlus Nord, but it doesn't have a better UI, display, and camera. Even though the Realme X3 Super Zoom does have a better camera option, but the photo quality is not as good as the OnePlus Nord. There is Redmi K20 Pro as well, which is an amazing and powerful phone from last year, but still the OnePlus Nord is better when it comes to the display, camera, and user interface. Now, if you're a person who lives in India and can increase the budget a bit, then I would recommend you to go for the Realme X2 Pro because it is the only phone that is better than the OnePlus Nord if the camera and user interface is not that much important for you. The Realme X2 Pro has a more powerful chipset. It also has UFS 3.0 instead of UFS 2.1 on the OnePlus Nord. Oh, the Realme X2 Pro has a headphone jack as well, which the OnePlus Nord doesn't have. So basically in terms of specs and everything, the Realme X2 Pro is indeed a better phone, even though it may not be better when it comes to the camera and user interface. Okay, so talking about the user interface, the Oxygen OS of OnePlus is way better than the Realme UI. But at the end of the day, both of these phones are Android and you can just customize them the way you want. So yeah, in India you have to increase your budget a bit more. The same thing applies with Europe, but there's good news as well. And the good news is the maxed out storage option of the Realme X2 Pro, which is 256GB internal storage with 12GB of RAM, costs exactly the same as the maxed out storage option of the OnePlus Nord. Even though the other two storage option of the Realme X2 Pro is a bit more expensive, but that completely makes sense as the hardware of that phone is much better than the OnePlus Nord. But if you're planning to buy the maxed out storage option, then why would you go for a phone which has a mid-range chipset if you can get a phone which is way more powerful and have much better specs at the same price? Now, I know the Oxygen OS of the OnePlus makes the phone super fast, but it's the hardware that matters as well, and the Realme X2 Pro easily wins when it comes to the specs. Now, which phone should you go for? As I've already said, it's totally up to you, but if I talk about myself, then I would have gone for the Realme X2 Pro instead of the OnePlus Nord. There is also another phone on the market which is more powerful than both of these phones and also have a better camera, but its design is really old. Maybe you know which phone I'm talking about. Do you? Maybe you don't. Well, it is the iPhone SE 2020, but that's a topic for another video, so thanks for watching. If you liked the video, then make sure you give a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel for more tech-related content. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Till then, take care and stay safe.